Proverbs chapter 5 verse 15. Drink waters out of thine own cistern.
Yeah, meaning you gotta get this truth for yourself. You can't basically lean on somebody, another brother, for you to get this truth. You gotta wanna get this truth for yourself and then express it. Alright, into the highways and the byways as you see us doing. Okay? Because we got the real waters. We don't got that GMO bullshit ass water. We got the real water, man. Give me John 7 and 38. That's why we're able to stand out here with great boldness and we don't give two shits. Okay, because we're at rest. We have the complete truth. We know in depth what's right and what's wrong. And I say in depth. Okay, we don't have to try to appease other people, live to the standards of the world, try to get accolades from other people. We don't need to be doing that, man. We just come out here, we teach the scriptures, and we are who we are. That's just what it is. Go on, brother.
It's at John 7 and 38.
Yeah.
He that believeth on me, as the scriptures have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Yeah, and that's why we could go into so many different information, history, okay, whether it be World War I, World War II, World War III, and prior to that. Okay, we even got books. We can even go into how our people ruled Europe, and we can tie that into prophecy as well. All right, and that's just the thing, and that's why we're calm, cool, and collect. We don't really care about what people think about us, man. You understand? And I mean, if you've been in the truth long enough, you should have received that already. You know, because this world here, it's a failure of the world. It's a failure of the world, and that's the world we live in, and that's why people, they despise order, they despise the right thing, which is what we do. We stand up for the right thing. Okay, we get called terrorists and you know, this and that and the third, but we're standing up for the right thing. But it just goes to show you that this society, this revival of ancient Rome is nothing but a cesspool of evil. You gotta coincide with that to be down with this society. Okay, you gotta drink yourself to oblivion. Alright, you gotta walk around like you ain't got no damn sense. And that's what this world is all about. This world is not about morals, it's not about standard. Okay, the men of the Lord, man, the men of Yahweh Shah, we're about setting the standard and we're about setting an order, man. Okay, and that's why our people, they were messed up because they want to coincide with this disordered civilization. And they want to be accepted no matter how much. And you know what, so I'm going to say this too, man. As I was watching this one thing, right, one of the brothers posted this video. And basically, this black woman, she got kicked out of Petco, in this pet shop, right? And you know, you could tell she went to university, and you know, she speaks that eloquent American English. And she was saying this is no matter how professional you are in this society, you'll always have people or so-called Europeans that will be racist against you. You know what I mean? And that's the raw deal. That's the raw hardcore deal. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this world here is not really our setup. Matter of fact, you might be 2 and 10.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 16.
Yeah.
Cursed shall thou be in the city,
Yep.
and cursed shall thou be in the field.
And that's just the bottom line. That's why we need the Lord, man. We need the Lord to restore us back to where we need to be. And we need to be restored back into our own land. Because right now we're in a land of our adversaries. Yeah, he's going to get that. Get Micah 2 and 10.
So Micah 2 verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
Yeah, so that's what we have to do. How do we arise and get out of here? Through this wisdom and understanding. Okay, not the wisdom and understanding of unity. Because that wisdom is a failure. I mean, there's many people that have went to university and swallowed up all of that wisdom. And now they're working in Mickey D's. Okay? And all of that. They selling hot doggies around the corner and stuff like that. But yet they went to uni and stuff. So that's a failure of wisdom. This wisdom can never fail you. This wisdom and understanding will always stand sure, okay, and is being put into fruition as we speak. And I'm talking about the prophecies too. Go on, brother.
Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even as so destruction.
And this society will pollute the hell out of you, okay? If you're a young man like ourselves, that are in this world, some way down the line, something's gonna go wrong, man, in your life, man. Okay, you might meet up with a woman and she might make your life a living hell, okay, or vice, or however it happens. Okay, or you might have a group of friends and they're just a bunch of weirdos, man. They leading you into the wrong direction. You see, and that's why, you know, us brothers in the street, we gotta develop a standardized mentality. You know what I'm saying? You're going, brother. Because I mean, there's certain people that we don't really need to be talking to, man. Okay, if you drunk and you all out of whack, your senses ain't there, you ain't got a good head on your shoulders, and you can just walk down the street. Okay, because you hold time for somebody else that can get the street, man. You're going, brother. You got something. I tell you what, hold that. Be some more. I think it's some more. No, just read what I told you to read. Read Micah. Start from Micah 2 and 10, and then read all the way down. Because there's a couple of more verses that might be all right. Can you see? Yeah. Keep on.
Micah 2 and 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even as so destruction.
And it's ultimately going to do that part, because the majority of our people, they want to accept and they want to dive in with this world. They want to commune with these other nations, which really they should be looking down on them, because they're going to be future slaves anyway. So what business do I have walking around with a group of Elamites and Edomites, man? Like, what sense does that make? That don't even make no sense, man. And that's the mentality you gotta have, because these other nations, they have that same mentality. Their mentality is well, you know, I'll talk to the Negro in private, in public. I'm not gonna surround myself with it, because it's gonna make me look bad. Okay, but we should have that same mentality. You understand? The time we do it even is when we're out here cursing them out, telling them where he's gonna go. Where he's gonna go is slavery. Same thing with the so-called white people. Only time we talk to this Edomite is that we tell him that he's going to slavery. Going, brother. But unlike these drinks out there, what's your deal?
Are you guys looking to engage the public, or are you just recording something?
We're doing both. We're doing both. Yeah,
Well, I'm curious what you guys into. Holy Apocrypha.
Yeah. Where you from? You're from America, aren't you?
I am from America.
Yeah, I can tell by your accent. I lived there for a couple of years.
Where about you from that?
We're Florida. I'm from Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
The backwards southern state, right?
Yeah.
The further north you go, the more southern it gets. The further south you go, the more progressive and liberal it gets.
Right.
Yeah, I was just in Texas. That's where I was working.
Okay.
What y'all doing around here? What's the story?
Well, really, what we're teaching is where the Hebrew Israelites, where the real Jews that the Bible speaks about. And you got a lot of brothers like ourselves in America, throughout the whole 50 states, 50 plus states. So what we're doing is where you from, by the way? I know you're American, but what's your nationality? You like Irish or?
Like ethnicity, you mean?
Yeah.
Nationality means what nation you're from. Ethnicity, I guess Scottish is the predominant, Irish, and then some European, mixed European. But ultimately, all
What's
that.
your father? What's your father?
My father was born in the United States.
Okay.
And his father was too, but his grandfather was from Fife, Scotland.
Okay.
So
Well,
we're going through the paternal line, if you want to do that.
okay. Well, you might be one of us. You might be one of us, because what we teach. And I'm going to be real with you, because let me
Well,
turn
we're
this
all
around.
humans, so I agree with that. That's true, right?
That's right. Because what we teach is all of these other nations. Matter of fact, brother, get me Isaiah 47 real quick.
Yeah, I used to be.
All of these other nations over here. Okay, these are the different sons of Ham. All of these other nations.
Sons of Ham.
Like the sons of
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
You got the sons of Ham, Japheth, the sons of Ham, and the sons of Japheth and Shem. Okay, and most of all of these other nations, they're going to be in slavery under the real Israelites, including the so-called white man. Okay, but you might not fall under that umbrella. Your line might go back to the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, or Levi, so to speak.
I go back even further, yeah, absolutely.
You know, because you
We've
got
been around
certain-
here a while. So.
Right. Yeah. So read what you got, brother. Matter of fact, you know what? I tell you what. Continue on in Micah 2 and 11, because I don't mean to have you keep jumping around.
So Micah 2 and 11. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do die,
Yeah.
saying, I will prophesy unto thee
Yeah.
of wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of these people.
Yeah, and what that goes into is these pastors today, because these pastors today, they're teaching that false philosophy. That's what wine also represents in terms of the scriptures, parabolically speaking.
So you're interpreting wine to mean false.
Well,
teaching?
the pastors are teaching false. But what we're teaching is the complete doctrine, the complete truth of the Bible.
How do you ascertain that your doctrine is the complete doctrine?
Well, how do we know? Because what we do is like, for example, go get me what is it, 2 Esdras 9. You got another precept.
Esdras from the Apocrypha.
Okay,
Now you use it. Which version? So there's a version where there's first, second, third, fourth Esdras, and then there's another version where first and second are not called Esdras, called something else.
Yes, it's two books of Esdras.
Yeah. Well, it depends on which version you're going with, right? Because the Apocrypha is different depending if you're using the Vulgate or if you're using something else.
Well, really, the Apocrypha that we're using is really the Bible. Like, I got a Bible, I got a big Bible that has the Apocrypha in it.
So you're using that'd be the Vulgate then? Before the King James version.
No, basically, we use the King James version.
Of the Apocrypha?
Yeah, it's a King James version.
Okay, it's just not the version that was included because they decided not to have it in.
Well, really, you got certain Bibles that don't have the Apocrypha in it. So
correct. It
that's
wouldn't
why
even be called the Apocrypha except people don't believe it should be considered revelation. There's some of them are oral traditions, some pertain only to Jewish struggle at the time, like Maccabees. Right. And you got oral histories like Bell and the Dragon, or rather the idol Bell and the Dragon. Yeah, I used to be a theologian, so it's might say.
This is St. John 18, verse 37. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Yahweh shall answer, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice.
Right, so it said he came into the world. Now, what world did he come into? Because when people think about the word world, they automatically think it's talking about the entire globe. No.
That's a well-read set of scriptures right there. Look at that, falling apart. Look at that. That man has read his scriptures.
Right. That's right. Because the world is talking about the elect, the children of Israel. That's the word that it's talking about. I'm going to show prove that.
So, but now we're using Judeo-biblical text as the authority. Then is that correct?
Absolutely, because we're the Jews. We're the original Jews. Those people over there in the land of Israel today, they don't even subscribe to the Bible. They don't believe in Jesus Christ.
So you're talking about when you say we, you're saying a collective. Like,
I'm talking about these people on the side. The so-called blacks that went into captivity in Americas and all of that stuff. Okay?
Oh, so
those people there.
Well, these would be representative of Western Africans, then, yeah.
As well as they're the Jews, what you call the original Jews, but they don't know
Those
that.
are the original Jews.
We're the original Jews, the same blacks. Wait, you're from Israel, right?
What?
Israel.
No, Basque country. Basque.
You're Israelite. She's an Israelite too. Because the thing about the Israelites were scattered abroad. I'm going to get
The diaspora, yeah.
Right.
But question though, I'm not sure how is it just the Western Africans that excludes the Eastern Africans, excludes the North Africans.
Yeah, the North Africans are what you call the Hamitic race. Now they're a dark people, but our people.
Well, yeah, I
are
mean,
not
it's that
the
light
same.
latitude, you're gonna get a lot more pictures.
Nah, it ain't got nothing to do with that, my man.
Well,
The thing about it is that
all right.
because I'm gonna hit you with something now. Now, for example,
I'm ready to be hit.
You know the Eskimos. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the Eskimos.
That's a racial slur. You probably won't want to say that. That'd be like the equivalent of the N-word.
Okay, well,
Inuit peoples.
they're Native Americans, right? They're Native Americans that have lived in Canada for a long period of time.
Even that's a loaded term because that's assuming a white man's term.
It don't-
America.
listen,
It wasn't called that.
listen.
If you want to use the term First Nations,
You
might be
know
more
what I'm
appropriate.
talking about.
Primitive
You know what I'm
peoples might
talking
be more
about.
appropriate.
The Native
No,
American
because if you
Indians
use the
are
wrong
people.
terms, it's insulting their culture. Just the
But
same
the
as
Native Americans
I
are
won't use
people,
the
the
N-word, so I think
Israelites.
it's insulting the same way I wouldn't say Eskimo.
Okay, well,
it's highly offensive.
What would you call us? Bro,
People, humans, Homo sapiens, say
It's cool. At the end of the day, right?
Same thing I call myself.
Are you here to be a
We're
stuffer?
people.
Are you here to pick fun of what we're doing? Or
No, I'm here to make sense of what you're doing, but it has to make logical sense. If it doesn't make logical sense, then I question it. Because if it doesn't make logical sense, you shouldn't follow it, right?
But if it,
right?
if
Is
it
that true
doesn't,
though? Is that
no,
true though?
listen.
Would
If
you
it
agree
doesn't
with
make
that?
logical sense with you, then you don't have to follow it.
But nobody
Because
should.
at the end of the day,
Nobody should.
I'm
not include you guys, right?
At the end of the day, check this out.
Because either way, I believe that literally we're from the same human
Let's just
family.
read the scriptures, man.
Same human family. But ultimately, if it doesn't make sense, why
Because see,
should
the thing
you
with
guys
the
follow?
American culture, they're proud. You know, they're very proud. He's very proud. He's very proud.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
yeah.
the American culture. I'm an
Hybrid
American.
is the word,
and I
yeah,
have, and I
hybrid is the
have something to say. That's the American culture.
Yes, your question is it East Africans and the North
When you say
Africans?
hybrid, are you referring to the speciesization that breaks into hybrid and it crossbreeds?
Let's read that.
Same species.
Yeah, are you listening?
He's not listening. He's just being proud.
I'm listening.
I see what sir.
I'm asking
You came up
questions.
here. You came up here.
I'm asking questions. I'm asking
You came up
questions.
here So at the end of the day, we didn't come up to you. If you don't want to hear what we have to say, you could just keep it walking, man.
Well, that's what I'm trying to make sense of
Because
what you're trying to say.
at the end of the day, right, as far, because I said you might be an Israelite, but guess what, that don't even matter. If you're not a part of, if you're not of the elect of the Most High, and you're not subscribing to what we're bringing out, listen, you're going, read that.
This is Psalms 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
And that's all the so-called white man has ever done, is brought forth lies in his democracy around the world, saying that what he has to say holds more weight. But really, in his all shenanigans.
It's different, you know, the Jews
And that's why he said if it doesn't make sense, no one should follow it. Like he decides for us.
Yeah, well, I know that.
There's a distinction between Caucasians versus Jewish. Yeah,
Well, those
there's
people-
Semitic peoples versus Caucasian people.
Well, let's just get one thing straight.
Black people are Semitic.
Right,
Absolutely. You know, I gotta give her a hand on that. I gotta give her a hand on that. She's absolutely right.
They're Shemitic too.
Because
all black
I'm gonna
people are
say this,
Semitic.
right? Let's calm down. man.
Israelites.
At the end of the day, bro, let me deal with it. At the
You're
end of the day,
you're all descended. You would say all Africans are descended
no,
from.
we didn't say Africans. Let's
You
get
said black people, so black people would be people of
Okay,
African descent, correct?
it's not no African.
correct?
I'm gonna explain, right? Now, let me calm down. I'm gonna calm down a bit. Now,
Sure.
the term Africa goes back to another white guy by the name Neo-Scyphicus Africanus. Okay, see, that's just the thing.
Did not know this.
Okay, fair enough. But the thing about it is our people that went in slavery in West Africa, okay, the so-called blacks in America that suffered the transatlantic slave trade,
Sure.
and even the West Indian people, the Jamaicans and the people of the islands, they're what we call the Kingdom of Judah, the original Jews. Now, there's an ancient map, okay, if you got the book, brother, in West Africa, which the slaves were taken from West Africa.
You're saying all
listen.
Africans are descendants of Judah.
I didn't say all Africans.
Okay.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Now, what I said was, is the people predominantly in West Africa,
Okay.
right? They had a fort by the name of Judah, a house by the name of Judah. Why did they have a house by the name of Judah?
Correlation.
Because those people go all the way back to Jerusalem. Where did they come? It be the books. It be what is it? What is it? The Bible took. Yeah, read that.
It was really when the European powers carved up Africa, it was the custom of the European kings, meaning like white people.
No, kings, royalty, they're not even white. Let's talk
They're right. But you
yeah,
had white people that took over though. They took over the nobility. European kings in those days, they send out a cartographer or a map maker to outline and pinpoint his holdings. There was a cartographer in 1747 who went by the name of Emmanuel Bowen. This man held the title of royal cartographer for two European kings, King George II of England and King Louis. What number is it?
Yeah, that's 15.
15, Louis the 15th of France. What is unusual about the map that Emmanuel Bowen brought back to these two kings is that in the center of the map, Bowen shows that the true name of the so-called slave coast was none other than the Kingdom of Judah.
Right, and that was. You're gonna have to read that again. Read that one more time.
So it said, what is unusual about the map that Emmanuel Bowen brought back to these two kings is that in the center of the map, Bowen shows that the true name of the so-called slave coast
was known as what?
Was none other than the Kingdom of Judah.
Why was it named as the Kingdom of Judah? Let's read this now. Read that, brother. What is it? Page 84.
So
why was it known as the Kingdom of Judah?
Is there a second point of data? I'm just curious. So this one guy came back and said that this is what it was being called. And we're trusting that one guy.
They were European. Well, they were European kings.
That's one guy.
This was back in the 18th
They're
century.
not even European, those people. They're not even
Yeah,
white.
they Edomites.
They were during the 17th.
Yeah, read that. This is why.
And the other thing is we do have trade. We do have trade. Trade occurs.
Because see, the thing about it is, I understand where you're coming from. You don't want to accept being a
I
white
need
American.
evidence to accept it. I need evidence.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's not pride.
You don't have to
It's
accept
me
it.
trying to be honest. It's me trying to be intellectually honest.
Hey, that's
with you,
all right. That's all right, my
Hey,
man.
right? Would you want me to believe something that was false just because somebody told me it was true?
That's fine.
You wouldn't
That's
want that
fine.
of me, would you? So I would expect the same type of intellectual honesty from you, gentlemen.
we are
Correct?
being
That's
honest,
fair.
man.
Well, of course. That's what I'm saying. But when I ask questions, it's not to poke fun. It's to say, I don't understand this.
Okay,
Can you help me understand this?
Understand.
Because ultimately, it sounds sort of like there might be like a bit of
A hidden agenda.
well, it sounds like the agenda is that there's a problem with the lineage according to history, And that might be true. There's definitely hegemonic things going on in the world. We know this. However, what's the ultimate explanatory power of your message?
What's the main reason? What's the main part of our message?
What's the main thing about the main thing?
Okay, the main message as a whole, right, is that these people on the sign, okay, are the chosen people of God, the Jews.
How do you know that?
Okay, because we're showing you right now. Give me the book. Let me just read.
Okay, we got Judah, the kingdom of Judah, the name of Judah from the western coast. Okay, got that.
But I want to say one thing. Now, what the brother was reading, the part where it says it was basically a slave coast. Because where was the slaves taken by? They were taken in West Africa predominantly.
Well, that's the coastline that they were being picked up from. Now they came from all over the interior as well because slavery's been part of African trade and economy for thousands of years.
But what I'm saying is this:
it's true for
I'm not
thousands of years,
dealing
right?
with that.
In
What I'm
fact,
dealing with
when
is that
England ended the slave trade,
you can have a nice thing.
three different African kings came up here and begged them to reinstate it because it was part of their economy.
You can have a nice thing, sir. You're not going to get it. You prideful.
Limitations chapter 5 verse 10. Limitations chapter 5 verse 10. Our skin was black like an oven.
Yeah, and that's just the thing. The Bible says that the men and women of the side.
Sorry, you put in Timothy?
Let's read that again.
Limitations chapter 5 verse 10.
Lamentations, Jeremiah,
Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine.
Right. Give me Jeremiah 14.
Some people went underground. That's why they are different.
I don't understand. See, that interpretation is saying that Jeremiah was black?
Going into it, man.
No, Jeremiah is saying that Jews are black. Okay.
I agree with you. Everything, but there's one thing you said about the lines they drew on the map. Right. Okay, that's true. But you didn't mention where the lines are drawn. If you look now, you had one culture. The line goes through the middle of this culture. Right. I got their original place of being. This reason for the lines through the cultures.
But that's not really what I'm getting at. I'm not
The
really getting on
reason
that.
is to keep people ways at war with each other.
Yeah, but the thing, but you always had that.
Draw the line through the culture.
But you're always gonna have that. You're always gonna have racism. That was back. Hey, if you go back,
Racism's a new
listen.
thing, actually.
No, it's not. It's always been around. It's
Yeah,
always been around. I'm gonna
the
explain
racism started actually with this point right here.
Now I'm gonna
Like,
explain something.
that's been proven.
The thing about it is racism
It's a new thing. It's been the last few hundred years.
has been out there for 1,000 years.
No, it hasn't.
And I'm gonna explain
It's
why.
been only a few hundred years.
When you deal with the Persians and the Medes, who took over the Persians and the Medes? Like in the ancient world, you had a group of race of people that went against another race of people.
Alexander, the Greeks.
Alexander the Greeks.
Not the Greeks, Macedonia.
Right. But let's go prior to that. Now the Egyptians. When we think about the ancient Egyptians, when we think about what is it? Babylon. Who took over Babylon? The Persians took over Babylon. So you always, matter of fact, brother, get me Deuteronomy, what is it, 32?
And then
Because
people from the Babylon, the evil that was in Babylon, okay, it moved north and it moved west into Europe a long time ago. It took us people, did to us what it's done to all people.
Right, but the thing about it is that
And this mechanism has always kept black people, white people, Asian people against each other.
that's supposed to happen.
You're describing xenophobia, not describing racism.
As at Deuteronomy 32 and 8, when the Most High divided to the nations their
This is
inheritance,
God speaking, okay, who you call God, but we call them Yahweh. Go on.
when He separated the sons of Adam, He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Yeah, so this is what God did. God set the bounds of the people to divide them, okay? Because at the end of the day, and I understand where you're coming from, because the thing about it is when you think about something, when you think about people coming in all together in one, what you're really doing is you're invoking that New World Order type of mentality. That's what it is. And it goes back to the Tower of Babel.
But we don't need those
Give me,
people
Genesis
around
11.
and putting everybody against each other. We don't need them. You say that there is no more is given. It's not given.
So when you say racism, what you really mean is xenophobia.
We're
That's
really-
true.
we're really
Xenophobia
racism.
is definitely occurring. Prejudice occurs, but actual racism is a very new thing.
I'm gonna look. Let's look up the word. Let's look up the word racism now.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
For example, let's say Brazil. Let's say I'm from Brazil, right?
We're using the
And-
classical definition of racism.
Right. I'm gonna explain it.
Okay.
Now, the word race means race, right? But the ism means you're for your own. Like for example, if I'm a pianist, I specialize in piano. Okay. So if I'm racist, what does that make me? That makes me for my own people. Now
that makes you bigoted, not racist.
No, listen. Now, if I say I'm like, for example, if I'm against something, I'm going to use the term anti because I'm against that particular thing. Okay, but you can't use racism and say that I'm against these people or that people.
Anti also means
when
like
you use racism, listen. When you use racism, I'm using it. Really, that word really goes back to what you're really saying is you're for your own people. That's all it means. There ain't no bad thing about that. But what I'm trying to say is this: all throughout the beginning of time, you've always had divisions amongst the people. You've always had that. That's just nature.
Well, yeah, Cain killed Abel, right? So ultimately, that's between family members. That's because we're part of a human family. It's not because you're black, I'm white. Definitely
No,
not.
but it
I
ain't
have
even
no
got nothing to do
hatred.
with that.
I have no hatred for you.
But it ain't even got nothing to do with that because when you go back to Genesis, what is it, chapter 25, right? Which the word Genesis means the headings or the beginnings. As I was saying before, the beginning of time.
That's the name we gave the book. Sure, it's actually called the first book of Moshe. Whatever.
Right. So the thing about it is Esau,
We renamed the book.
which is the so-called white man today, and Jacob, which is our people, we symbolize Jacob. They were in battles even back in the beginning. Go and read that Genesis chapter 25.
Yeah, Esau was considered a warlike people, right? His people would be a warlike people. That was
In
the
these last
prophecy.
days, yeah.
Right, and Esau is considered the principal ancestor of the Arabs.
No, he's not. The
He is.
Edomites. That's what
He's
a lot
considered
of them
the
say. You always say that. Now the thing with we
Again,
can
I said
explain. We can
consider.
explain.
Consider.
Read that. They're not Arabs. The Arabs are Ishmael. That's why when you go when you read the
I
Quran.
apologize. You are
No, it's
correct.
cool,
I
it's cool, it's
apologize.
cool.
I apologize. I stand corrected. It is Ishmael.
Yeah, they're Ishmael. That's why in their own book, which they call the Quran, they liken Ishmael as the chosen rather than Isaac because they know that they go back to Ishmael.
Their other book. They also have the Bible.
Yeah, but they don't believe in the Bible.
They do. They do.
So what?
That's what it's
Edomite?
Do you know what the name they give the Jews is? The people of the book, God's first book. They just said that there's further revelation and that Muhammad was the next revelator. So they believe in the Old Testament and parts of the New Testament. In fact.
Yeah, you're
In
right.
fact, they
You're
even
right.
speak
Because
of
in their
Jesus
book, they have to read
the
Quran.
Quran. Yeah, absolutely.
you're right.
So
But
because they
what I'm
believe
saying
that
is-
apostasy had occurred and that they needed to have it restored, and that's where Muhammad steps in.
Right.
So ultimately, they're linked to this too. They are a
But
sect
you know
of
what, though?
Judaism, just like Christianity is.
But you know what though, the Bible is the foundation because the thing about
How
it
do you
is
know that?
Islam. I mean, I can jump around going to Islam and everything, but I want to do this main point.
My question is, how do you know that's the basis for everything?
How do I know? Because number one, I'm going to say one thing. It deals with
You
faith.
can't use the book to prove the book.
No, listen.
That's circular.
It deals with faith.
That's circular. You
Okay,
can't do that.
and
Because otherwise you have
when you
no
look at
way of
reality-
telling a Hindu to get away from the Vedic scriptures and go to this, because
When
they
you
say,
answered a question, you said, how do I prove that this is
right,
possible?
so I guess I'm saying, can you have a way of proving that it'll be sufficient for somebody outside of your faith?
Well, really, number one, you have to believe. If it's not in you, you got to do something. Go on. Because we're talking.
Says John chapter 8 verse 37. I know that ye are Abraham's seed,
Right.
but ye seek to kill me because my word have no place in you.
Yeah, so who was
What's
he
the point?
referring to? He was
He's
referring
talking to the scribes and Saracens of the time, because literally the Sanhedrin, they had political aspirations.
I'm leaving here.
I know, I've read that, but you asked me a
I
question.
know, but the
answered
thing
the
about it is, I
question.
know I
Is
didn't
that
ask you a
rhetorical?
question. I didn't actually know a
So what does
question.
that mean? You asked what that means.
I didn't ask you what that means. Okay, no, we're not Rastas.
Because that didn't make me think of Rastafarian as well.
But what I'm saying is this.
Yeah.
What I notice you're doing, my man, is you're doing a lot of talking. You're not listening to what's being said.
You guys are doing more
you're trying to
talking than me.
expound what you don't. You're not listening to me. You don't have to listen to me.
So you don't have to listen to me. That's fine. I have to listen to you. But you're here on the street corner and you're propheting something. And I'm asking questions about it. And ultimately, I'm even helping you bring a crowd around to ask questions
But
about
we
it.
don't need the crowd. What we need is the elect that's going to listen. That's it. Read that, bro.
What's your religion? Or if you got any?
Are you
I just
Judeo-Christian?
said it. With the Jews.
So you would say
I got so
Judeo.
many questions. Very much. Just 1 minute. I just wanna.
You ask your questions.
Okay, so is this this morning? He's reading my hair as well, and now I say, why? Okay, so this Jewish Israelites is related to even before slavery.
Before slavery, right. She's dealing with us now. We're in the same vibe. Now, I'm going to explain. Now, our people
I'm going to wish you the best. I'm off. I got to go. Take care. Wish the best, looking for your tribe, whoever those people are.
Well, we've already found it.
Well, you said I might be part of it, so if
Okay,
so,
well, yeah.
Well, he started so he could be. But if you ain't a part of it, you're going into slavery though. That's your future. If you
Slavery?
Yeah, you're going into captivity.